Hello viewers, my name is Shafi. In this demo, I will create a Spring Boot Java project connecting to MongoDB NoSQL database to perform CRUD operations, create, read, update, and delete operations using a Postman. Uh, so here is an UML diagram for this project, as you can see on the screen. So I'm going to create a employee class. It's going to be a project class and employee controller and employee service and the employee repository interface. So as you can see, the relationships in this diagram. These are the steps I will follow to create this project. I will retrieve first. I will retrieve the connection string from MongoDB, and then create a Spring Boot Java project from the spring.io website to start with. And thirdly, I will create classes and properties in STSID. And last, I will test the HTTP request using Postman. Here I open a Firefox browser and I will search for MongoDB Atlas. And from the list of websites, I will select mongodb.com website right here, as you can see on the screen. And on this MongoDB portal, there's an option to get started. So I'll click on this, get started. So this will open a page where it will allow you to create an account by completing or filling out all these fields: first name, last name, mandatory fields like email and password, and you agree to the conditions and terms, and then you create an Atlas account. In my case, I already have an account. I will just sign in. Okay, so I'm going to provide my email address here, chefemail@mail.com. Click next, and my password. If you don't have an account, you need to create this account, and I will log in. So it's saying wrong password. Let me re-enter it again. Log in. Now on the next page, it's asking me to retrieve the code by clicking on this send code button. So I clicked on send code, and it will send me an email with the code to the registered email. So I received the email. I'll enter the passcode here, and I should be logged in. So this is the page overview page. It has the cluster I created. So if you are a first-time user or a new user here, you just registered, then you need to create a cluster. So there will be an option like this, create cluster option, and you create cluster, as you can see on the right side. You might have another like a page, like first time it might be on your right side somewhere. You just follow the instructions to create a cluster and create a cluster. Once you create a cluster, you click on connect option, this will open up a window where it has options to access your connection string. So in my case, I am going to use the drivers. So I click on the drivers and this will open up another window. So here you have an option to select your driver and the version. So in my case, I have selected a Java driver and the version will be 5.0 or later. And then you can also install the driver if you want. And the third option is where you have a connection string. I have I have marked this uh, connection string with the black markers. I don't want to have it publicized. This is your connection string. You can use this in your code in your properties file to connect to this database, and then send the request and receive the response from here. So it will store, create the data for you, and also you can retrieve the data. Now I'll go to the start spring.io website. So it's start.spring.io website, as you can see on the screen. And I will create a Java project. So I have Java selected already, and I will select Maven. So this is going to be a Java Maven project. And I will leave the Spring Boot version as it is 3.5.5. And group ID, usually by convention, you will have com dot and whatever your organization name, and you can extend that with a meaningful extensions. So in this case, I'll just use my name com.shafi, and artifact ID is the uh, demo. Um, I'll just say MongoDB to make it simple, and this is gonna be name will be MongoDB, and description will be demo project for Spring Boot. I will leave it as it is. And the package name would be com.shafi.mongodb. And the packaging will be jar, and the Java version will be 7. You can use any version, 8 or later, anything above 8. And now uh, here I'm going to add the dependencies by clicking on this Add Dependencies tab, and button. And now I need the web dependency, so I'll search for web. So I will click on Spring Web. I need this dependency, and I need a dependency for. So I click on Add Dependency again. I need a MongoDB dependency. So this is MongoDB. So Spring Data MongoDB NoSQL dependency. I'm going to click and add that. I will add a dependency Lombok. So this Lombok dependency helped me to create the getters and setters by marking the class at the rate data, and to create constructors. So I don't have to manually create it. I'll just mark the class, and then it will create it automatically for me. So I have a Lombok dependency, and then I'm going to add the last dependency. This is going to be DevTools. This will help me. So I search for DevTools. This will help me to relaunch once I make changes to the code. After save it, it will automatically relaunch it. So I don't have to manually relaunch every time I make changes. So I select this, and then I have 4 dependencies. Now I will click on generate, and it will generate the project. I will save it on my desktop. So this is going to be a zip folder. Now the download is complete. I will go to the folder and unzip. Okay, here it is. So I'll just click on this MongoDB zip file. I'll extract all, and I will extract to the same location. I will open the STS now. So STS is open. As you can see on the screen, I will import the project by clicking on this import project. And now this is going to be the existing Maven project. So I highlighted existing Maven project. That's what I selected. Click next. And now I will browse to the folder that we unzipped. It's in desktop folder. So I'll click on MongoDB. This is the folder I need to select, and then click finish. Wait for the project to get imported. Okay. So it's updating, and now wait for it to finish. So now let me open the pom.xml file. Since it's ready now, the project is ready. So I want to make sure all the dependencies that I selected while creating this project, it's there in this POM file. So I just Control F and search for web dependency, so that we have it right here on line 39. You can see it. And now another dependency is there was MongoDB. So as you can see, line 12, we have MongoDB. And now Lombok dependency is also there on line 49. Now search for lastly, there was DevTools. So DevTools are there on line 44. So we have all the dependencies that we selected while creating this project. Now, let me go to the source mains Java folder and select that, highlight that, and then right click. And I'm going to click create packages right here. So new, and then package. So I'll create a com.shafi.mongodb. Controller package, and I'll just select this part and Control C to copy it, because I will create a few more packages. So let me finish this, and now I'm going to create package by selecting the source main Java. Again, same thing, I'll repeat, new package, Control V. So I pasted the package name, and this package will be model class. So I typed it as model, and then finish, and then same thing again, another package, Control V, and this package name will be repository, finish, and then another package, new package. This will be a service package. So now I will select the model package and right click and create a new class in this package. And I will name this class as employee and click finish. So here I will mark this class as @data annotation. So this will create the getters and setters. Similarly, I will do for all our constructor, control space. This will import, this will mark the class, give me the suggestions. So at all, no arc constructor now. So, and I need to mark this class document. So this is a NoSQL database. So the collection will be same as the class name. I will name this as employee. And now I'll create some fields, variables. So string, it will be ID, and then string first name, string last name of the employee, and string department. So for this demonstration purpose, I'll just use these 4 fields, and I will Control S on the keypad to save this. Okay, I need to import this data. Either I can do it by clicking on this, hovering on this @data and import, or I can just do Control-Shift-O. So right now I'm going to do import right here, select that. And for document, I'll just do Control-Shift-O. So this should be collection, not collect. So let me complete the sentence. Now Control S to save. So the employee class, this is the Pojo class, is completed in the model model package. Now I will create a class in the repository package. So new class, I will mark this as employee repository. Click finish. So the names should be meaningful. It should make sense. So here in the repository class, I meant to make this class interface. So let me mark this as @repository. So this is going to be a repository class. So let me import this, and let me change this class to interface, and this will extends the Mongo repository, and this will take the employee object and the string as the, we have a string ID. The ID variable is in the employee class right here. As you can see, it's a string. So that's going to be our primary key. And I need to import these things. So I'll import here and import employee. I highlight employee and import. So I'll Control S to save. I don't have to define the methods here because if you are using the Java version 8 and above, you don't have to define the methods. You can directly create the methods in the service class. So I'll go to the service class now. I'll right click and new on the package, and then select the class. So this is going to be employee service class, employee, finish. So for this class, I will mark this class as @service because it's going to be our service class. Control-Shift-O to import this annotation. And now here I will auto-var the employee repository to inject that bean here. So I'll create the instance of this employee repository, and then Control-Shift, hold on, employee repository. I need to Control-Shift-O to import the package, and here I'm getting an error saying syntax error. So employee repository, Okay, employee repository. Error run. So I need to annotate this at the rate. Now import this class. Okay. So Control S to save it. Now I'll create uh, methods to create, read, update, and delete. So first I'll start with the create method. It's going to be public, and return type will be employee, and create employee method name. And this will take the employee object as input. So user will pass all the fields in the request to create an employee. So this should be so I need to include this employee class. Now here I will use try catch block in case if there are any errors. So it will catch it right here. So uh, for this demonstration purpose, I will set the employee ID to auto create. So let me do that. So employee set ID. So this is gonna be using UUID class of the is predefined method random UID, and I will convert this to string because the ID variable is the string type, and then so this will create an ID that has hyphens in between the characters or numbers. So and then I will split that based on the hyphen. So I will select the first value at the 0th index of this array after splitting, as you can see here. So this is why I put the 0. And now I will employee, I will save, I will use the save method from the employee repository to save this newly created employee, to create this new employee. And I will create a catch block to catch an exception E. Like in a real-time scenario, sometimes organizations require you to make custom exceptions. For that reason, you can create an exception class, and then you can call the custom exceptions from there. For this demonstration purpose, I'm going to use the exception that's provided by the exception class here. So E dot, you can use various exceptions here. You can have a custom message, or you can print a stack trace. So I'm going to do print stack trace here. And then after you done with the exception, I'll just return the employee. Now I will create a method, a read method, to read uh, the employees. So public, so it's going to be a type list employee, and find all employees method name, and this won't take any input argument. So, and then let me control shift O to import that list, and here simply return um, the method from employee repository dot find all method. So this will return all the employees. I like to also have a method to read the specific employee. So for that public, I'm going to create a method now. It's going to be type employee and get employee by ID. So I will retrieve the specific employee based on the ID. So the user input will be string ID, and this will return the employee repository and return find by ID. So by design, this MongoDB interface has a method. So when you say find by, this is a prefix to find the user or employee in our case, and then you append this with your variable. In our case, it's ID. We defined ID in our employee object. So you just do find by prefix and the variable ID in our case. So it should be in camel case. This will then retrieve the employee based on the ID, and then you just do dot get, and this will return the employee based on the ID is passed based on the ID. So now gotta create and read now update. So this is the update method, public employee type update employee, and this will take the employee object and so I will create an instance of employee for a specific employee, and then employee repository, and find that specific employee based on the ID. Same thing that we used the in get employee by ID. So similarly, use the find by ID method to find it using the based on the ID. So here you get employee dot get ID, and then you dot get. So here I'll start a try block. In this try block, specific employee dot, I'll set the first name to update the first name. Then it's going to be employee dot get first name and specific employee dot set last name, then employee dot get last name and specific employee dot set department, employee dot get departments. So all these fields will be updated. So then I catch block. In the catch block, I will just create an exception, right? Instance of the exception right here. Exception e uh, e dot print stack trace, and then here I'll return the employee. Uh, I will save it and return that from the employee repository. Save the specific employee. Okay, so now the last will be the delete method. Public. So this is gonna delete a user or an employee. So this will take the string. The return type is string, and it will take the string as an input. Delete employee. So it will take string ID and try start the try block. In the try block, employee repository dot delete by ID. So same by convention, the MongoDB interface has a method that you say delete by, and then you use your variable that you define in your uh, model class. Here I have ID, right? So the variable name is ID, similar to what we did by find by ID. Here you use delete by ID using camel case, and you pass the ID from the user, and then you catch exception in case of error. Create instance of exception E, and then E dot print stack trace. And now here I return the message to the client or the user saying that employee with ID colon space quotation close plus, and the ID that user passed space plus space space is deleted. So this message will be shown to user once the employee is deleted. So I'm done with this employee service class. Now I will go to the controller class and create the methods in controller. So select the controller package, right click, new class, select the class, and then give a name, so meaningful name. So employee controller, this is employee, right? So employee controller, and click finish and mark this class as the REST controller class. And then I will also mark this class as request mapping. So this is like a route mapping to create endpoints. So I will map this as employee. So this is the entry mapping for this endpoint. Then I will auto-wire the employee service class we just created, employee service, and then Control Shift O on the keypad to import that auto-wired. And now here I'll create a post mapping to create employee. It's better to use post mapping, not the get mapping if you are creating a user or employee in our case. Uh, I will mark this as / create endpoint. The reason the post mapping is better because get mapping will, you know, leave the data in the cache in the browser. So for it could be a security risk. It's better to do the post mapping. So public, and the method will be public. I'm use the response entity here. This way, user will get the message, HTTP message, So this will be employee type, and create employee method name. And this will take the employee object as an input. And now here, employee, I'll create a new employee here, instance of the employee, and I will create the variable new employee. And from the employee service, I will call the create employee method and pass that employee object from the user. And I will also import that employee, Control Shift O. So I imported that employee class, and then return new response entity. And here I will have the new employee and HTTP status to show the user that is created. So I select the created one, dot created, and the create endpoint is done. Now I'm going to do the get mapping to read the data. So I will create a method to read the employees from the database. So this is going to be a list of employees. Get all employees method name, and this will not take any input from the user. And basically here I need to create endpoint after get mapping. So I will have the endpoint quotation mark in the quotation marks / and all employees. So I'll just mark that as all. So here, one more thing I forgot. So on the create method right here for creating employee post mapping on line number 21, I need to have a request body from the user. So I'll have the request body here. So let me Control Shift O and import that request body. And now back to the get all employees method. Here I will have no, I don't need anything from the user, so I'll return all the employees list. So I will create a array list here, list of employees, and is going to be employee list, the new array list. And so it should be employee in the list of employee, so not employees. Here I'll start a try block, and I will set that employee list from the employee service. I will call that method find all method, find all employees, and I'll set it to employee list, and I'll start a catch block in case of exception E, and here E dot print stack trace. I mean E dot, not the comma. So, and then I'll return that employee list. So this method returns all the employees. So now I'm going to create a method to return a specific employee. So here I create a get mapping. Here I'll create the endpoint. So brackets, forward, quotation marks, forward slash. I will mark this as ID because I'm going to get the specific employee based on the ID. So forward slash ID and the forward slash the user input will be ID. So that's going to be ID variable. I put that in braces and create a method that will be public. It's going to be type employee, get employee by ID. So this will be path variable. So we'll take as path variable from the user input, and then this is going to be the ID. So I'll put it in the quotation marks in the bracket, and then this will be the type string ID, and I will create an variable for object type employee. So employee list. I can directly do this, but I'll just because I will get the data in the try block, and I will set it to employee list variable that I'm creating now. So it can be new employee. Start a try block, and here I will set this employee list and to the data that I fetch from employee service. So employee service, I need to get it from the employee service dot get employee by ID. So pass in that ID, and then here start a catch block, create an instance of exception E, and open close curly braces, E dot print stack trace, and and with the semicolon, and then return that employee list. So done with this controller class. So I'm not done with it, but I'm done with this get mapping for specific employee. So now update. So I got create, read, now update. For update, it's going to be a put mapping. And in this put mapping, I create an endpoint for update. So open close brackets, open close quotation marks, forward slash, and the endpoint will be named as update. So update, and then the method will be public. And this is going to be a employee type, return type, and update employee method name. And this is going to be a request body from the user. And it will take the employee object as input, and then try block, start a try block, try, open close curly braces, and from the employee service, I will call the update employee method, pass in the employee, and close it with semicolon, then start a catch block, and open close curly brackets, and then exception instance of this exception E, open close curly brackets, and catch. I need to have, there's a typo, spelling mistake. So CATCH, and back to the catch block, E dot print stack trace, and now return so here I'll return the employee. So here I missed the semicolon. So that is why I was getting that error. So now I'm done with this update method. Now the last method will be the delete. So it will be delete mapping. So I'll just select this delete mapping, and in this delete mapping I will create an endpoint with meaningful name, open close brackets, open close quotation marks, forward slash, and it will delete. That's going to be endpoint, and forward slash, the variable input variable will be ID to delete the employee based on the ID as a parameter. So public, so this is going to be return type string, will pass the string message to user after deleting this. So delete employee will be the method name, and it's going to be the path variable, input parameter as a path variable, and this is going to be open close bracket, open close quotation marks, forward slash ID will be the path variable for user input, and then it's going to be string ID, the input value will be the string ID, and here I will start a try block, and this is going to be employee. I'm going to call the method from the employee service class that is called delete, and we'll take the ID as input, and this is going to delete the employee based on the ID. I'll start a catch block, catch, open close brackets, and create an instance of the exception E, and then open close curly brackets, E dot print stack trace in case of error. Okay, and then here I will return the message to the user saying that employee with ID colon space close quotation marks, then plus, and the ID, the user passed ID variable, plus space open close quotation mark space is deleted. So this is the message that will be passed to the client or user, whoever requests this delete method. So this is done. So I have completed all this endpoints creation in the controller class. Now I need to create connection parameters, to connect to the MongoDB database and create to communicate with the database. I need to create properties for that. So I'll go to the source main source main resources uh, folder here, and I will uh, right click on this and create a new uh, file here. This is going to be the YAML file. I can create a dot properties or dot YAML file. In this case, I will create a YAML file. So the convention is if you work for the organization, there will be like a various environments. It can be a system, UAT, and production environments. Basically, you have various environments. So what you need to do is you should create each YAML file for properties specific to the environment. So if it is if you are deploying this to lower environments first, then like it could be system or UAT, then you name that file based on the environment that you want to configure for. So this is a demo. There is only one environment. I don't have any environments like various environments. So I'm going to mark this as system, or you can mark this as development. Since this is the demo purpose, so I will mark this as application dash system dot YAML. I'll click finish, and so the file is created now. So I will have to enter the parameters. So for connection parameters, I'll say Spring colon, and then this will be the data colon and MongoDB. Then I will pass the URI that I had copied from the connection string from the MongoDB cluster on the MongoDB portal, and then I'll paste it here after the URI. For security reasons, I'm not doing it now, but this will be like a MongoDB plus service and then colon, and it will be like the username from the database, like admin or whatever. Not the username, whatever the name you created in the cluster. So Yeah, it could be username and then the password here. So this will be the password, and some randomly created string after this. And then you have uh, at the end you have the app name for the cluster. So this is how it will be. And then need to provide the database name. That will be employee in our case. Uh, Control S on my keypad to save these changes. But I have to mention, since I have marked this YAML file as system in application.properties, I have to mention to load this file application system, right? So the system file. So for that, I need to specify that here. So I have to say that spring dot profiles dot active, and this will be the system. Okay, control S save. So it will pick up this system file. Okay, now I will go to the root directory, select the root directory, and right click, and I'll run this, run as. Let me build this project. And I'm going to clean install this goal. In the goals, I will say clean install, apply, and run. So I'm getting an error here uh, for individual test results. So I don't need the test file because I'm not creating any test cases. So I'll just remove this class. Okay. And I will go to the root folder, right click, and then run as. I'm going to run that build again. So the build is success now. Okay. So I'll go to the root folder again, right click. Now I'm going to run this as Spring Boot app. In the meantime, I will open a Postman. Oh, before that, it looks like I got an error. It says, while scanning next open found characters tab. So, so there is a tabs in the indentation of my YAML file. It says org.yaml right here. So let me fix that. So I'll go back to the YAML file, I'll fix it, and I'll run this again. So I fixed the tabs in the YAML file, and now I'm going to rerun this. So right click on the root folder of MongoDB, and then run as Spring Boot app. So it's error again. There is another error. Let's see, line 6 of scanner exception YAML reader. Okay, let me fix that tab again. Okay, I fixed it, and I'll run again. Run as Spring Boot app. Okay, application started. Let me open the Postman. Here you go, the Postman is opened. Uh, so I already have the endpoint here, so it's going to be employee, and this is going to be create endpoint, and there's the first name, so I'll just put f name 1, and last name will be 1, and it will be computer science. Department will be computer science. So I don't need the ID variable here because it's auto generated. So I'm passing these 3 fields to create an employee in the database. So let me send this request here. So let me click send and see the, so it's created, it's auto generated the ID, and it has created the employee, as you can see here. And since we have created this employee, we have the HTTP response in our create method in the controller. That is why we see the created message here. If we don't have that, we just get 200 OK status. Now we are getting 200, 201 and created. That means the employee is created in the database. Just to confirm, let me go back to the cluster in the MongoDB database on the MongoDB portal and confirm that. This is the portal and this is my cluster. So here I click on Browse Collections, and I should see that user that just created with the fname1, fname2, and department computer science. Let me close this. So I'll see a user created here. Now let me create another user here. I'll create the username fname2, last name, which is lname2, and the department will be, I'll just say history, or employee department will be history. Okay. Now I'll just send the request, and it's created. Let me check here. I need to refresh this. So once I refresh, it will show on a MongoDB cluster. I mean on the document, the collections will show the new employee created. That's what the expectation is. Still downloading it. Let's wait. Okay, now as you can see, the 2 users are created, fname1, fname2, and there is IDs are auto-generated. So let me go back to the Postman, and now we have another second method. After create, we have the read method, and it was endpoint was /all. So I'm going to have all users to fetch all the users. So let's see, I mean all employees. Then I'll click send request. I should see the 2 employees that I created here. Method not allowed is saying, because this is not a post method, it's the get method. I should change the post to get, and now I send the request again. So now I have the two employees that I created. Uh, the next endpoint is specific employee based on the ID. So I'll just pick uh, the ID for user employee 2. I highlight that, Control C, copy that ID, and I'll send it forward slash. The endpoint is ID, and the value is the ID value is this that I copied for the user fname 2. I'm going to send the request. So when I send the request, I should see this user in the response. Let me send. So it is working as expected. I got the response for this user. So we had a create, update, create and read. So now to update, I use this ID. But the endpoint will be forward slash update, and I'll keep the same ID, and I'll change the name. Matter of fact, I need to remove this ID from here, and here I need to add, because there was a request body, right? So ID will be, let me make sure I have the request body. In the controller class, so update method, yeah, this is a request body here. So I need to pass the ID, and the ID that I was copied, I'm going to paste it here in the quotation marks, and then comma. So I'm going to change the first name to something else, some name, and this is going to be hyphen. Just put some random number 3. I will also change the last name, some name, some last name, and I will mark this as -3. And department, I will change to public service. Okay. And so this user, based on this ID, and this was the user 2, it should update these values for the first name, last name, and departments. Let me send the request, and the type of the request will be a put request. And just send it. So it is now updated. You got 200 OK. And let me go back and ensure that in the document on MongoDB portal, I open this and let me refresh it. So the user 2 has to be updated. The employee 2, I mean. So we got the some last name, some name 3, and public service department. So update is working as expected. Now let me go back to Postman. Here, the last is the delete request. So I'll remove this update endpoint and use delete, and this will take the path variable ID. So I'm going to use the same ID. So this is the second user. So once I send this request, the user should be deleted, and there should be only one user on the MongoDB collection. So let me change this to delete method and send this request. And it says internal server error. So why this is the case? Let me go back to the code and check. Here, for delete, oh, because it's a path variable and this is the ID. I did the path variable and I passed the ID, and So path variable ID internal server error. Bind missing path. Saying missing path variable. Employee / delete. And this is the ID. Oh, I see. Because here I have a /. I need to remove that. Control S to save this. And this should relaunch this. So it's relaunching it now. So, I have the dev tools as a dependency, so I don't have to relaunch manually. So it will, once I save the changes. So this has relaunched. The Tomcat started on port 8080. Let me send the same request in the Postman again. Send. So now employee with ID is deleted. So let me go back to the cluster to make sure it is deleted here. Let me refresh it. So there should be only one employee here instead of two. Okay, so the one of the employees that we requested for deletion, it is deleted, is working as expected. So all the endpoints are working as expected. Thank you for watching. Please, uh, I mean, please comment out if you need more videos like this. And if you have any comments, please post it below. Uh, Thank you for watching. Bye.